Well, we went downriver a bit. Let's get back to where we were and find the tracks again.
Find a trail. There we'll go.
Okay. So heading down.
Heading down or heading up?
Probably heading up by this point because you guys did float a little bit down river to avoid the Warrior's Nest.
Whatever.
Can I get a perception check from people looking for the tracks?
Passive or active? Active, I suppose.
Active. Basically.
Active because we're doing it
Hang on. For a searching type thing, you nominate one person to lead the challenge, and everyone.
We'll assist.
I
Everyone
successfully
We
assist.
will assist.
Who's trained in
Healy.
perception? Healy. Right.
I also am.
Who's our whiz primary?
I successfully assist.
I successfully assist. But 16.
What's it? 24.
I got a 24 straight.
27 straight, so
21.
Plus 6.
Searching along the edge of the river, you can see no signs of the tracks. You're used to doing stuff like this in the past, where tracking specific animals, that sort of thing. You can line yourself up to seeing where it was going, and since he does kind of move in very particular straight lines, he should be really easy to follow. And you know a way to like break down looking for something in order to get an area very well searched, and you're fairly confident that after searching the riverbank, you did not see any tracks.
He stopped in the middle of the river.
He did not exit the river.
He may still be down there.
Is it the crocodile song?
I will.
I feel like the crocodiles.
I will look back the direction we came. I will turn, place my back to it, start walking that direction, and go. I'll keep going for about a quarter of a mile, maybe half a mile, and see if I can find any tracks further out.
Further upstream or
Yeah,
downstream?
I'm gonna go upstream.
You guys probably landed maybe a quarter mile or so downstream from where you expect the tracks to be, and probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 yards upstream is a part of the ground that is just destroyed. And
Almost like a bear went through.
almost like a really big ass bear went through here. It's actually fairly obvious that this is where the bear went. But don't see any human tracks. Continuing on past there, the same thing did not see any obvious tracks because his are fairly distinctive.
Maybe he rode the bear.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what happened.
Because when in doubt, ride a bear.
Bear crab cavalry because fuck you. That's why.
In my home country, cavalry rides bear.
I'll turn around and go downstream.
Okay.
We were downstream. A lady.
Yeah, but she wants to
Due
go
diligence.
a little
Due
bit.
diligence.
Yeah, a little bit further, just to see if maybe something happened and he went further down.
I will let you guys know that crossing the river itself took about 30 minutes, somewhere between 30 and 45. And I'll say you guys go ahead and spend maybe 2 hours or an hour searching for the
Up and
tracks, up and down.
Nowhere to be found.
Do not see any of the tracks anywhere on this side of the river.
Okay, well, there's only one thing to follow at this point. I'm going to follow a bear.
What?
As an alternative, it's possible he went down a river on a river. So our question is, are we more interested in following a giant bear
Yes.
or following a river?
Bear.
I am inclined to go for the giant bear myself. If only for the fact that
The
that is
only
the
reason-
tracks that we have.
The only reason, and this is, he looks at you, the only reason why I'm considering going for the bear was that he had said that he was going to be hunting boar or bear. And
You think the bear hunted him?
either that or he may have been hunting for something incredibly specific, and that's the reason he's way out here. I don't know how a Bogarsh-addled mind will end up working with that, but
Well, it's possible the bear's chasing after him.
And lighting up his tracks.
mhm.
Alright, let's go ask him.
We also know that he vanishes for weird periods of time and isn't in this world.
The
bear or the guy?
guy.
Either way, really.
Yeah, right down there?
You should not lay down.
Laying down is a bad plan.
Yeah. Terrible
Honey,
plan.
come on.
I'm trying.
You should
By
try to
laying
sit
down.
up.
Sit up.
Yes.
Come on.
I'm only being exacerbating because you need to fucking stand up, so you don't sleep.
That is not actually
Right, that's an improvement.
Honey,
Uh-oh.
love
You're
you.
not allowed to give me the grumpy voice on the side.
I am.
No,
But she's sick too.
yeah. but-
Anyways,
Right then. So, we're following the bear. Because,
Following the bear.
right, I mean, given the option of going in a different direction from the giant bear, or going the same direction as the giant bear,
You follow. the bear.
we're following the giant bear. Sure, why not?
alright,
I
so,
mean,
Guts.
These tracks are not hard to
understands-
follow, so I'll just go ahead and lead. Just
yeah, following the tracks, not difficult.
He
Um,
understands what you're saying, but her thought was Pavel came out here for a reason, and so maybe the bear was the reason. That's what she's for.
sounds like a good plan. Let's do it.
As you guys are following along the bear tracks, you notice that the bear does seem to kind of go around water sources. So like there's little creeks and parts of the river and stuff that spread out, and the bear seems to be
Avoiding it.
avoiding the water. And
There
is
you go.
heading
Big
towards
place
an
on
area
there.
that you can
Don't
see
wanna
off in the
repeat it.
distance after a few hours of hills.
Maybe it's chilly. Don't want to get any more wet.
Are you guys trying to do anything in particular while you're following the bear, other than don't
I'm
get ambushed?
watching to see if any human tracks appear.
Oh.
Like,
Cards. We have cards.
Your card's over
The
here.
cards are around. I didn't add the cards back into the deck, so.
Yes. On. This is my card.
straight 24 on perception. Trying to see if I had noticed, like, even one or two spots maybe where there might be human footprint, like Poggle's footprint somewhere.
Do not see any indications of Poggle's footprints. However, especially for a while, the bear's tracks are very, they're very
Ambling?
destructive to the area around. And you see that after a little while, it starts to get a little better. And you notice that
Falling down.
one of the reasons that it probably was causing problems is that after you guys have been following it for about 30 minutes, you can see the bear looks like it's moving much slower.
Giant pile of bear shit. It took a crack. Now it's calm.
Yeah.
No?
It passed that
theory.
BM and it's perfectly good to go. Now, you can see that the bear's tracks, in addition to it probably being in some sort of really bad mood and destroying things almost wantonly, it seems to be limping heavily. There's a little bit of blood mixed in with the water and the mud and stuff.
It
That
did
was
get
gonna
bit
be
by
my
the
question.
frog.
Huh?
So that was going to be my question.
So, it looks like the bear's front left leg is being dragged more than it's using it to walk with.
Kiwi, will you fix the bear?
I don't know if it'll let us. I mean, the crocodile doesn't
Fix it.
exactly cooperate.
I'll try
Why
when
is
we
it-
get to it.
Why is it she's so damn gung-ho about cutting things' heads off and all of a sudden there's a giant, scary fucking bear and she wants to fix it?
I want to talk to it.
Don't you want to talk to the bear about?
Killing things?
What is
Right.
good at that?
So,
Godless killing machine.
obviously we're on the right path then.
You know, eating fish.
So heading on a little bit further, spend 4 hours traveling in the same direction as the bear. And you see you guys come up to those hills that you saw off in the distance from the river. And you see that the wildlife around here is very sparse comparatively. There aren't a lot of
Giant bear.
bigger trees. There's not a lot of big bushes. This one little cluster of maybe half a dozen hills in the middle of this area looks like it has a sparse population of everything, where you don't even see tons of dragonflies and frogs and other sorts of little things. There's just not an incredible amount of life up here.
10 to 1 odds the bear's lair is here.
Won't just be
Of course
fun.
it is.
So you guys have the hills in front of you, and the bear's tracks obviously go over the hills.
Keep going.
Over the
bear
hills
went
and
over the
far away,
mountain,
the
the
queen
bear
has
went over the
come.
mountain.
Alright,
So we obey.
so
Over
Carrie's
the
like,
hills
"Stop."
and far away.
To see what he can see.
This is the metagaming damage I didn't say.
Totally in character singing. Also, bongos.
could someone help me move the board a little bit to get that stuff needs to be moved? I mean, that's not.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Over the heavens and far away.
Okay. So you guys are going to
I
be.
wonder if this is the bear's lair.
You guys are going to be
Is that a dead fucking snake? What the hell?
We've seen those before.
way
We've
over
made those
here,
before.
up on this hill. So you're looking down on this scene. What you can see is a very large graveyard of bones, just everything strewn all over the place.
So
Well,
this
in
is
here-
the alley in between all the kind of hills.
Yeah, basically the hills come up. There's a hill here, there's a hill there, and there's two hills over there. And this is in between, kind of nestled in everything. You don't see a lot of things down there moving around, but you do see that there are a lot of sort of meticulously piled bones that are spread around the area. And
When you say meticulously, does that imply intelligence? Or just magpie style courting?
it does look like it's meticulously packed. And like from a distance, you can tell that there are what looks to be all bones that look basically the same, all piled in one section. And then there will be another section that will have a different bone that's all the same bone piled in a different section.
It's
And
a
there,
bear with OCD. Are you shitting me?
down in the bottom of the valley, there is what looks
Right,
to
because we
be
never encountered crazy before.
a dug out section
Not in the bear.
that has a very large slab of rock, which the bear is currently laying on.
Uh,
And around it, where on the map you have these, almost look like tusks. What they have instead are stacks of skulls that you can't really tell what they are from the distance, but you can definitely see that they are very large skulls.
Why the hell did a bear make stacks of skulls? The fuck?
They look pretty.
why I ask?
He trades with other bears.
Alright, let's go ask him.
Alright. Also, for
Would you
those
get any-
listening at home in the podcast, Jason doesn't say very much, but we have one person who is watching the game, so if you hear a voice that is not one of the voices you recognize, that is because it is Jason. Jason, say hi.
Hi.
So, guys head on down.
I will lead the way
We're to fight here in
slowly.
moments, sir.
So
Toit's
We're
gonna
coming
be
from that
skipping
direction?
next to Chunk.
That's not
Gonna be
Chunk.
a bear.
I stopped using that figurine because it's too wide.
It's just.
Okay. Okay.
Where's the?
I don't know where Toy is.
Oh, there she is.
Everyone else is somewhere in existence. Here is Vin and Iris. Vin and Iris are
Behind, I forget, 2 squares behind Chunkus.
Oh, the heavens are marched today. The queen is called, so we obey. Oh,
Okay.
heavens and far away.
as you guys are
He will
coming.
be somewhere in there. Probably behind Chunkus. So in the
In the
middle.
middle.
Excellent fireball formation.
Good. Everyone's in the kill box.
Yes.
And as you guys are walking up,
This is
If the
bear throws fireballs, I call bullshit.
you see the bear very obviously notices you, and it lifts up its head a little bit and looks your direction, and then it kind of puts its head back down on the slab.
Amulet's gonna
Ah.
yell, "Hi!"
From this distance, you can tell the bear is severely wounded.
Okay.
He looks faintly hopeful and yet despondent.
maybe it won't immediately want to eat us. What we want to do is see if what's his name?
Awful.
Toggle. I keep thinking Toady. Why do I keep thinking Toady?
It doesn't matter. Well, I mean, he's the toady of the Bogarsh. Maybe we'll look out and one of these piles of bones over here is actually, is Poggle, and then, I mean, it saves us a trip, you know?
Then
Yeah.
can you see if any of these piles of bones have any obvious magical auras that could be Poggle? Because I thought the guy carried some magical stuff. Didn't he have a sword?
Also,
A
he's a
spear.
downer.
Spear. He had the spear. Very importantly,
It was Aaron that had the sword.
right.
Because on account of him being a sword mage. But, I mean, also, he's carrying around a Bogarsh inside him, sorta. And so, I mean, the odds of a bear being able to do something about that, I mean, kind of slim, and I acknowledge that. But, you know, wouldn't it be handy if
Maybe it ate him, and that's why he looks so grumpy.
that's possible too? Alright, let's go ask him.
Alright, so you guys approach
I-
the bear.
Approach
I
the
will
bear.
probably-
This seems like such a terrible idea.
Kiwi is
There's
actually
nothing-
going to push her way to the front. She's not going to allow the group to approach a wild creature with the one person who, well, you'd have a chance too, but definitely the one person who might have a chance to help is in the middle going, you see me, right? No, because the Gwarg's standing there.
I have a very large shoe.
You
It
can
is
see
now very, very
now,
large.
now that you're fairly close to the bear, the body language of the bear, and this is just from passive, you've been around animals and stuff, it's sort of curled up like it's about to pounce on something. But where you would expect with the whole body language of the face being a snarl or for it to be growling or doing something of that nature, it appears to be looking at you. So the body looks very tense, the face looks fairly calm.
We've seen that before. I wonder if it has a little Bashik cube in its head.
And from this distance, you can tell that it is covered in wounds. The front left leg is very mangled, and it's mostly hidden underneath the bear. And you can see along its side there are cuts, and there are spots where you can see spearheads that are the
Oh, hey, spirit.
butts of spears that are pointing out of
They're
it,
not.
and little
The little
cuts. So you can also see that at several points on the creature's fur there are patches of black, almost like it's been burned. But you've been in the Bogarsh Marsh long enough to
Bogarsh Rot.
recognize Bogarsh Rot. Now that you guys are this close,
Yeah, Huey's kind of
you can
paused.
see that these ones here, they look to be bear skulls.
Well,
Alright.
so Huey, do you think it's in any state or condition to talk to?
Possibly. How far away are we roughly at this point?
It's
10
it's
squares.
to scale, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're
50 feet roughly.
40 between 40 and 50 feet away.
Okay. Huey's
So
like,
Vin, can you see the aura of the spear anywhere close by?
no, because he fell asleep.
That's why I'm involving him.
Sorry.
I mean, if you would prefer to go to sleep,
Honey?
We can
you're more than welcome to
automatically
go.
sleep.
Like, I'm not saying you have to stay at the table because you're not feeling well and you want to go to sleep. I'm just saying, if you're going to be here, you need to be here.
Yeah, I know. Arcana check?
Yes, please. So are you using Arcana check as normal, or are you going to try to use your Sprite Racial to detect magic?
I'm asking if you can see the spear's magical aura in any of the pile of bones, or
I will use my Sprite Racial to detect magic, because if I'll be able to say, oh, I don't think that's powerful enough to be a spear, but, you know.
Go ahead. It's still an Arcana check, it's just a different version.
I know everything about the spear.
You have your reroll up. So roll the natural 1. The other one is a
A nat
natural
20.
nope.
He was like,
Sensing out
he
into
was
the
like,
graveyard, you can see there is a lot of residual magic, as in a lot of the creatures in here had magic in them when they died. There aren't any magical items anywhere nearby. And it doesn't seem to be any form of living magic except for the creature on the table, or on the big rock at the center.
So the bear itself is magical,
The
or
bear itself seems to have a very powerful magical presence.
could it have eaten something magical? Would it look the same?
You can tell that it is innately a magical bear.
Right.
Not that it's...
Magic
The
bear?
giant fucking bear is magic. Oh, I'm surprised.
Maybe it ate a
Magic
spear. You know?
bear?
That's right.
Huey is going
Why
to
are you so
slowly
interested in
begin
magic bear?
approaching
Are we
it.
trying to tame the magic bear?
I'm not trying to tame the magic. I'm gonna just.
He looks mad.
You get to, you can see on the map this little circle of stones.
Mhm.
They're actually slightly larger than they appear on the
What
map.
are you doing? Oh no. Following back 1 square behind Kiwi because.
Me too.
Say,
And I'm in
stay
range.
at
We're good.
least
I wanna
about
be-
10 feet back.
I want to be
Okay,
15
okay,
squares from
2
the
squares
bear.
behind.
15?
Yes.
15 squares from the bear.
Uh-huh.
You're off the map. One.
I think currently you are 12.
So you take several steps back.
Okay, move me 10.
Okay.
Squares.
So he's about level with me.
So I'll put you here since that's in line of sight as well. You see the bear kind of look at you and just watching you as you get closer,
Mhm.
and it still has that very tense posture.
Okay.
Coin.
Huey will stop. Again, Huey looks vaguely hopeful and yet despondent.
Careful with the.
She's studying his
Ladder.
eyes. She wants to see if she sees kind of the same thing that the. Now, how bad
Would you
do
crack
the Bogarsh
That's how he's
like
swimming across
tainted
it.
wounds look?
Give me a
Like
nature check and give me a
anxieties.
heal check, because it's two
So
different
back
questions.
moving.
Okay.
Very. Says Marinoki.
Hey,
Okay, nature first. And that would be a 27. I rolled kind of low for Huey.
So you can see for a creature of
And then the heal check is a 30.
so the front left arm, or sorry, the front left leg is definitely broken, and has had a lot of damage to it from being bitten.
Okay.
And the little pot marks that are covering the bear are probably not actually going to be something that are serious and threatening as an individual thing, but it looks like the bear has lost an incredible amount of blood because it has a lot of little wounds all over it. As far as the Bogarsh touch pieces of it, you've seen stuff like that like on the Talikma before and on the crocodile, and they're big patches. Rather than have any of the big patches, this one seems to have a bunch of little bitty patches that are spread all over the body. So there's maybe, a 6-inch
Like a
circle of black fur, and somewhere else on the body there's another little 6-inch or a couple of little dots of the black fur.
Does it look advanced?
You can't. There's no real way to tell without being able to touch the creature. But what I will say is that you can tell, one, from the way the bear looks, and two, from the how it presents itself. That one, it is definitely a female bear, and that two, that the face looks like it's intently watching you. Even when when you were fighting the Talikma, and you've encountered things that have been Bogarsh touched before, there's varying levels of madness in the creatures, and you don't see any of that in the bear's
Okay.
eyes.
So good.
anyone bring a melon baller?
I was gonna say, Huey will stop where she is because she doesn't want the bear to think that she's trying to invade.
So you think there's hope for it?
We would like to help you if we can.
Don't we have the thing where we can like snap our fingers and then talk to animals?
I thought we did.
Oi, Sonrod,
We have the ritual.
we have a thing where we can like snap our fingers and talk to animals, right?
I don't think so.
I'm
we
pretty
right?
sure we talked to some birds earlier.
Alright,
I mean, unless I was eating this funny mushrooms. We were talking to those
I had a
birds.
good conversation
yes,
with them.
speak with nature.
I don't know about the rest of you.
Component cost is 80 gold. It's a nature check, which means I have to make an Arcana check to help. Or
Huey
Yeah,
does
have to
tell.
assist.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, Huey does explain to the bear that she is going to, cast this thing that will allow her to at least speak
Its
to it.
language.
Because since it hasn't responded, she doesn't know if it can. She feels it probably understands,
What you
but
got?
it's not like it can talk to her.
I got
Right
a
now.
31.